Okay, let's unpack this. You brought us some really potent material today.
That certainly captures a moment of, well, extreme volatility.
Absolutely. Picture this. Breaking news. A ceasefire. Brokered against, pretty tough odds.
And with a very high-profile, maybe unexpected figure involved, former President Trump.
Exactly. So there's this glimmer of hope, maybe, relief. And then almost instantly it's just shattered.
Yeah.
That's the dizzying reality here in these sources. And it leads us straight to Trump's very unfiltered reaction.
Quite a reaction.
So today we're doing a deep dive into this flashpoint, the ceasefire collapse, Trump's fiery response, and what it all suggests about, well, the prospects for peace right now.
It's a complex picture.
So the scene was set, right? A truce just agreed upon. And the big factor making headlines was Trump's direct involvement.
Which itself raised eyebrows, given his post-presidency status. It added a whole other layer.
Right. So there was this moment. Tentative optimism, maybe, but here's where it gets really kind of shocking. This truce, despite all that high-profile brokering, it didn't last days, not even really hours. It seems it evaporated, just like that.
Almost immediately, following fresh missile strikes.
Instantly.
What's fascinating, I think, is just how quickly the ground shifted. It sort of defied everything that was hoped for.
Totally.
You had this agreement, looked solid, high-profile backing, and then, boom, undone.
Yeah.
This immediate breakdown, especially with such a surprising intervention involved, it doesn't just show fragility, does it?
No, it feels like more than that.
It reveals maybe a fundamental issue, perhaps, assuming top-down diplomacy can just switch off these really deep-seated immediate triggers on the ground.
Like flicking a switch that isn't connected.
Kind of, yeah. It suggests maybe even these big, unexpected interventions might just be, well, pouring fuel on an already burning fire.
And the fire spread, didn't it? Not just on the ground, but into the public square with Trump's statement.
Oh, absolutely.
He didn't just, express concern. He unleashed this incredibly blunt rebuke, slamming both sides, Israel and Iran.
Accusing them of recklessness.
Total recklessness. He literally said, quote, "They don't know what the hell they're doing."
And that kind of language from a former U.S. president, well, it definitely stunned political observers, no question.
You can imagine.
When someone like that speaks out so directly, so unvarnished, it immediately adds this intense new pressure.
Right.
It really reshaped the whole dynamic of the conflict, didn't it? It forced them not just to think about de-escalating, but also to deal with this very public, almost unprecedented condemnation.
It certainly amplified the volatility.
In a way few could have seen coming.
So let's look at the specifics that reportedly broke the truce. Israel apparently hit a radar site near Tehran.
A strategic target.
Exactly. And as you're listening, hitting a radar site, that's not just a random shot. It's about targeting eyes and ears, surveillance, defense capabilities.
It signals a different level of engagement, beyond simple tit-for-tat, perhaps.
Right. Meanwhile, Iran denied any provocation from their side. And then Trump weighs in again with a very direct warning.
Calling on Israel to pull back.
Yeah, pull back its pilots, stop all further attacks. He cautioned pretty strongly that more strikes could just spiral completely out of control.
And that's the fear, isn't it, that spiral? Because the atmosphere described now is, well, it's just thick with tension. Fresh attacks, sirens, threats flying back and forth.
Peace feels a long way off.
It really does. And it raises a really important question, I think. What does this level of immediate volatility, where a deal collapses in moments, actually tell us about modern diplomacy?
Good question.
Are the old tools just less effective now? Or is it that the realities on the ground, the immediate triggers, are just more powerful than any top-level agreement can contain?
So wrapping up the sequence here, you had this ceasefire moment backed by a major, albeit controversial figure.
Collapsed almost before the ink was dry.
Exactly. Leading to this cascade of pointed condemnations and escalating actions. The pressure to de-escalate is definitely there. It's mounting.
But the situation is just so fluid, changing constantly.
By the hour, really.
And if we try to connect this to the bigger picture, maybe something for you, the listener, to consider is this. How does the immediate, very public failure of a brokered deal like this,
especially one with that kind of high-profile involvement.
Exactly. How does that reshape our understanding of what's actually possible in international peace efforts today? It really challenges the whole playbook, doesn't it?
It certainly makes you question the standard approaches.
How can stability even be achieved in such a complex, fast-moving environment?
So what is this deep dive, based on the material you've shared, what does it really show you as someone trying to stay informed?
Well, I think
It seems like a stark reminder, maybe, that in today's world, a single sharp intervention, especially from an unexpected place, can just dramatically reshape things.
it's better or worse.
Right. And often, maybe it amplifies the volatility instead of calming it down. It's not just about the speed of events anymore.
No, it's also about the unpredictable impact, the resonance of individual powerful voices on that global stage. Something to keep watching for sure.